Hey everybody, it's Jaret from the Rockstar Dad Show. Coming up this week on the program, Tony Lovato from the band MEST, who will be joining Bowling for Soup on tour this fall. But also, he's a rockstar dad. That's coming up this week on the Rockstar Dad Show.
This is a song for my friends Jaret and Gary. They started a podcast and said a theme was necessary. They're just a couple of guys in a band that you know. Some rockstar dads who started a show. So here's the next episode.
Welcome to the Rockstar Dad Show right here on Adobe Radio or wherever it is you listen to podcasts. Gosh, we've been doing this show for a really long time. My name is Jaret. Gary is here.
Yo.
You're going to notice that our social media is changing. We're getting a lot more, we're getting excited about our social media presence and all of that stuff. Listenership is way up. And so thank you for supporting the show. Big shout out to Jack and Ben and Danny from our new team who have taken over for Sean officially. I think as of last week when we had to do a rerun, I believe, Gary, we are off the teat.
We're off the teat.
Yeah.
And you know what? The new team is killing it.
They're killing it, right? Yeah. I mean, man, we're going to miss Sean. But these guys are great and they're hungry and they're, literally, like we don't feed them unless our shit's good.
Yeah, they got to make it good, and then we'll like slide some pancakes under
the door. Have you seen that commercial for the IHOP pancake taco?
No.
Okay. Well, you know why? Because you don't watch regular TV, and the only reason I know this is because I ended up back in the room before you on the last trip, and I was watching Forensic Files. I watched it for about 6 hours in total, one night and then the next day. And you pretty much know that if you're not in our room and I'm in there, when you come in, somebody is getting killed on the television, right? I mean, you're aware of that. That's what happens.
There's that. And also, if it's not like 4 o'clock in the morning, whenever I'm coming back to the room, if it's 2 in the afternoon because I've left to go for lunch, I try to like talk loudly as I'm coming down the hall. Hey, Rob, okay, we got to be downstairs. So you just have a warning that I'm coming
just in case I'm celebrating my sexuality with myself.
Yeah,
Yeah, which I will tell you I'm going to do that. I did the other day have to check where you were because you and Rob got up and went to lunch, and I was hung over from a full day of drinking. And
that goes back to you saying that you got to the room before me. And there was a debate on what happened. And I knew what happened because I know you. But we had been drinking at the airport. And we drank on the plane.
And then,
it was a fun day. So anyways, whenever we finally got to the hotel that we were staying at, then we went and found the bar. And we got some dinner. And we were still drinking at dinner. And I could just tell that you did the thing. It's like, I ate food. I'm done.
I'm
out.
Yep.
And I can't remember if it was Ian or Edo or someone, but they were like, yeah, this table behind us said something, and Jaret looked at him funny, and then he had to leave. And I'm like, I don't think that has anything to do with it.
No, that is not what happened at all. I looked at a table because they were talking to one of our guys. I don't even remember who it was because they were in town for the show, and they were just like, we're looking forward to seeing you guys. I didn't mean to look at them funny, but Ian was describing it to me the next day, as Ian's our guitar tech, by the way, guys. And he goes, you just kind of like turned white. And I go, no, I know exactly what happened. Food got in my stomach. I was drunk. That's it. You can't, I mean, I can't eat and drink at the same time. I just can't do it. It's because I probably do both in excess.
Yeah, but I've known you and been around you long enough to know that's like, once that food happens, he's got about 10, 15 minutes.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. People will at parties will actually say sometimes like, I've never seen you eat. I'm like, it's not really, if I'm drinking, I'm drinking. But the next day I was dying. In fact, Gary texted Rob and just goes, I can go get lunch. Jaret's dead. And, so I But then, so then I just started to kind of get my wits about me. And I got up and I went to the bathroom, and then you texted and you go, "Hey, you need anything from Walmart?" And I was like, "Yes. No, I don't need anything from Walmart. I'm good. But I got alone time." And so then I did. But yeah, anyway, so I was watching a lot of Forensic Files. I didn't pleasure myself to Forensic Files, by the way. I mean, I don't. That'd be
a
weird.
little disturbing.
That would be freaking. You know that happens though, right? I mean,
sure.
Just oh my God, luminol. That'd be funny if like luminol is just your thing. Like that's your fetish. Like, what are you into? I like when they try to find blood spatter that's been cleaned up. Anyway, all right.
I'm sorry. I don't listen to all the murder.
Oh, you don't know
podcasts.
what luminol is?
Yeah, and maybe some other people don't know what luminol is.
Oh my God. You know what I did? I just made an assumption and I shouldn't have done that. Luminol is what I just said. So essentially when people try to clean blood up, the blood has like left and it's oxidized and it's left something behind like iron and all these different minerals or whatever that's in blood. So you can't see it with the naked eye, but they spray this stuff called luminol on it. And then you can put a black light up and you can see exactly like the shape of it and how it was cleaned up and all that. So you can see like whether it's been wiped or whether, like the pattern that it goes up the wall and all that.
So we all, I think pretty much everyone knows that substance is a thing.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what it's called. If you watch, remember, what was that show that I used to hate? CSI. I hated it because the guy would be talking and he would just have to
take his glasses
off dramatically.
Yeah.
I'm like, I couldn't stand it. But anyways,
you hated that guy.
That shows us that there's some magical stuff that you spray and then you turn on a black light and you see blood.
Right. Yeah. No, if anybody that watches Forensic Files a lot, he says it pretty much in every episode because that's what it is. It's Forensic Files. Like it took me 2 years to realize that what the show was actually about. I just thought it was about murder, but it's about science discovering the murderer, right? And which was weird because we were laying in bed the other day, right? When we woke up and I just turned it back on. And then there was one from Wichita Falls, Texas. And I was like, oh, shit. I remember those posters being up in Whataburger and shit. But anyway, so I saw the IHOP commercial and they have these things called pancake tacos. And she's just like, you just put the stuff on there and you fold it up and it's a taco. And I'm going to be honest, not the sweet ones, because I'm a savory guy.
I got to know what the stuff is. What are they putting inside it?
Well, so they do like chocolate chips and like bananas and things like that. But then they do one that's like, it's basically like a breakfast burrito, but on a pancake.
Okay, I'm into that.
So that's just a McGriddle, Right. I mean, but it sounds great,
Yeah. It's like a McGriddle, but you're in charge of the syrup content.
100%. Yes, I agree. See, I don't really... I can't say that I don't like McGriddles because that's stupid, but it's just not really my thing. I can't
I'm
really...
with you on that. Whenever I've had one, I'm like, this is delicious, but it's not what I'm ordering.
Right. Yeah. See, what do you get at McDonald's breakfast?
I'm just a sausage, egg, cheese, biscuit kind of guy.
Right. And hey, by the way, listener, we don't just leave our house and go get McDonald's breakfast. We travel a lot. Sometimes that's literally all we have. And they took my favorite thing off, which was the breakfast bagel. And I used to get, I get sausage, egg, and cheese, but without bacon, but add the Canadian bacon from the Egg McMuffin.
Okay.
And it was delicious.
That you're like going to a fast food restaurant with my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she'll be in the passenger seat and be like, I want the number 2, but I don't want it with any of this stuff, but I want the stuff from that. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm just going to roll down the window and you scream at them.
But what's great is if you go in now, which this is a Rob thing, not me. I'm not going in. But if you go in, you can just do all of it on the touchscreen thing. But Casey does the same thing. If we go to Taco Bell, because she likes the cheesy gordita crunch, but she doesn't want the spicy ranch. She wants sour cream on it, but she calls it Baja sauce that she doesn't want. And they just translate it for you. So I'll be like, cheesy gordita crunch, no Baja sauce, add sour cream. Okay, you want a cheesy gordita crunch, no spicy ranch, and sour cream. But I just read it like she puts it because I'm not going to be the one that fucks it up.
That's the funny thing about like Taco Bell is through the years of working there, you know that the turnover is so high. And so like the employees are just learning the ingredients of whatever the items they're, it's always the same ingredients,
sure,
but it's like the Baja taco or this or that.
Right.
And so like with that, they call it the Zesty Siesta sauce, but it's just the same sauce. So there's plenty of things like that it's like I used to always get the Mexi Melt, no pico de gallo.
Yeah.
And then for a while, the employees would be like, so no tomatoes. I'm like, yeah, okay, great.
Yeah, right.
And then I started ordering it no tomatoes, and then they changed it back, and they're like, so no pico de gallo. I'm like, I can't win.
Man, that fucking Mexi Melt. And Rob says you can recreate it, but you can't. Like, it's not the same. Like, if you get the cheesy roll up and add beef, it's fucking not the same. That Mexi Melt, that was a Sweet Charlie thing. Our very first crew guy. That was his jam.
Yeah, it's the roll up thing is close, but like the Mexi Melt had a different beefy sauce.
Yeah, there was a different beefy sauce. It wasn't just taco meat,
Right.
It's like we're showing our region here, but Taco Bueno has this party burrito, and it's real tiny, but instead of just beef, it has like a chili sauce in it, and fuck, is it good? But you have to eat like 6 of them. For it to even make an impact. By the way, can you tell I'm on a diet?
Yeah, right. All this is about food.
Yeah.
I was going to try to bring in some kid stuff somewhere and ask, like, do your kids eat tacos or Mexican food?
Oh yeah,
your older kids do, but like, does ever
eats everything. He eats sushi. Yeah, he doesn't give a shit. Yeah.
My kids have been picky eaters, and it's weird because Tyler ate everything when he was little, but then he started getting picky. And forever, he's not wanted any kind of Mexican food. And just in the past couple of months, he's like, I want to try a taco. I'm like, we're going right now.
Let's go.
I drove straight to Taco Bell, and I got him soft tacos and crunchy tacos. And we went home, and I was like, trying to set him up. I'm like, if you don't like these, it's Taco Bell. There's better stuff out there. Right? But I got you a soft one to try and a hard one. And I got one with lettuce and tomatoes. I got one without. So like, I've ordered way too many tacos for him to try a taco. But he took a bite and he's like, I like this. I'm
okay. Like, yes. Yeah. He's like,
it's a new option.
Does he not eat beans?
No.
Because I was going to say, man, like a fucking dude, my children out of the womb would eat a bean burrito with no onions or sauce. So I was going to say, you have a Rosa's right by your house, and their bean burrito is just a bean and cheese soft taco. Is what it is. Now,
for years, man, he's just such a big, like, he likes steak and meat and hamburgers and whatever. So like if we were to go to a Mexican food restaurant, we would just order him a side of fajita meat, like no fajitas.
Yeah, that's
but
actually
then he got to be a big kid, and we're like, we need 3 sides of fajita meat.
Yeah, that's that's really interesting actually. Casey's little sister is just, I think, a year older than Tyler, and it's the same thing. She just gets 2 sides of fajita meat, and then she eats the chips and salsa, basically.
Yeah.
Which, does he like nacho cheese?
That's one of those things. I'm like, are you sure you're my kid?
You kind of don't want to tell me, do you? Like it's
he will eat nachos at the school, but he won't get the cheese. So he just gets chips and meat. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a nacho, but
man. I mean, really, the way that society has just taken the nacho and just stripped its consistency away. Because now it's like barbecue nachos and this and that. So I think just anything you fucking put on a chip is a nacho now.
Yeah, if you put something on a chip. Unless you're in England, they're like, do you guys want nachos? And we're like, okay, we'll try it. And they just bring you chips.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then you get excited when you hear, they bring you corn chips. But if you ask for chips and cheese, it's French fries with cheese on it. Which, God, this is so weird, dude. And I think I've told you this before. But, I'm not the biggest French fry guy in the world, but I'm not going to sit here and say I don't like French fries because that's fucking stupid to say, right?
Yeah.
But it's not my favorite thing. Like, if I go ahead.
It's like a McGriddle.
Yeah.
I'll try a fry and be like, that's good. I don't order them.
I mean, if they come with what I have and like I'm in a hurry, whatever, but it's just not, that's just not my thing. But I enjoy potatoes fine, and I like cheese. But you know what I don't like? I don't like French fries with cheese on them. You know how like people like chili cheese fries and stuff? I don't like that. I don't know what it is. I just like some people will dip a fry into like nacho sauce and shit. And I don't care for it, which is really, really weird.
So, I mean, but you do ketchup, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I like ketchup. Yeah. Ketchup is good. And, I mean, you know, I'm that fat kid, right? That like, I liked ketchup and pizza with just cheese on it, but I didn't like tomatoes, you know, and like it's just a whole thing.
I'm in. I like, you know, put the mound of cheese and jalapenos and bacon with a side of ranch dressing. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, you like anything except green peppers.
I like stuff. I mean, to me, I don't like bell peppers, but, to me, it's just like, oh, it's fries, but more stuff, you know, like we've just improved it.
You're saying on just dump it on there. So like on fries.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like, I do like, nachos that have cheese and like meat and beans on there, but I don't mind picking the jalapenos off. And you know, I'm new to sour cream. Sour cream's just in the last like 10 years.
I don't get the lettuce though. There's no reason for lettuce to be on nachos.
I agree, actually. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Lettuce is just a weird thing anyway, right? Lettuce is kind of like the tomato for me. Like if it's on a sandwich or a burger or whatever, it's fine. But like if my teeth get into it and it doesn't go all the way through and it starts to drag it off of there, that's it. Like I mean, it could be a whole fucking tomato and I'm not putting it back on there. And that's the same with like a big piece of lettuce. Like that just goes on the side of the plate.
Yeah, lettuce is quirky. To me, it's like, if it's a salad, great. It's supposed to be there.
Yeah.
You know? If it's on a burger, I'll put it on there. But the second it like warms up and it's not crispy or crunchy anymore, it's like, we're done with that thing.
You got to think, though, that like, you know, when McDonald's was keeping the hot side hot and the cool side cool, new McD, LT.
That's why Wendy's is magic.
Right. They figured it out, right? Because Wendy's does have like cool lettuce on their shit. But they were way ahead of their time, McDonald's. Like, I don't know that society had even realized that we liked cold crisp lettuce.
Yeah.
You know? And do you know that Jason Alexander, George from Seinfeld, is on the first McDLT commercial?
I did not know that.
It is fucking great. It's not the one that I just sang. It's not like the rap. It's like a song. And he's walking down the street and it's like a flash mob happens and shit. But you can look at it on the internet. But I look at it I just sound like my grandmother. You can look at it on the internet. Yeah. But you can watch it on the internet. But Sean used to play it back in the day on Jaret Goes to the Movies. Like when we would take a break, he would play old 80s commercials, and that one.
That's so. Since we are heavily discussing food today, because you said you're on a diet.
Because I'm on a diet.
What's going on?
I am. Well, you know what? Let's do this because it sounds like you guys have something to talk about. We got to take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about what I'm doing, and what I'm not doing, and we can talk about whatever else. But first, y'all listen to this.
Now that we're in the thick of summer, on top of our normal schedule, we've got baseball practice, baseball tournaments, art camps, princess camps, all sorts of stuff keeping our schedule crazy busy. So we've been using Factor so we can have healthy and delicious meals quick. Factor is America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. They deliver flavorful and nutritious ready-to-eat meals straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track reaching your goals this summer. Everyone I know that's tried Factor says the meals are delicious, but one of my favorite parts is the fact that you're not spending time going to the grocery store, meal prepping with chopping, cooking, and doing dishes. You just have a delicious, healthy meal in around 2 minutes, and then you're back to whatever you need to be doing. You want to feel your best while making the most of your summer adventures? Stick to your wellness goals with premium, ready-to-eat meals featuring high-quality ingredients such as broccolini, leeks, and asparagus. Treat yourself to 34+ weekly restaurant quality options like bruschetta shrimp risotto, green goddess chicken, and grilled steakhouse filet mignon, all ready in just 2 minutes. And if you're like me and always on the go and don't have time to think about lunch, keep your energy up with Lunch to Go. effortless, wholesome meals like grain bowls and salad toppers that are ready to eat when you're on the go, no microwave required. Every week, Factor has delicious, flavor-packed options that fit a variety of lifestyles, from keto to calorie smart to vegan plus veggie and protein plus. This July, get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered to your door, ready in just 2 minutes. No prep, no mess. Head to factormeals.com/rockstar50 and use code rockstar50 to get 50% off. That's code rockstar50 at factormeals.com/rockstar50 to get 50% off.
Welcome back to the Rockstar Dad Show. Coming up later in the program, Tony Lovato, who I am so excited to have him on here, Gary, because, and we're going to bring this up, but it was when he was having his first child, who is now like 5 or 6, so which seems crazy that like it's been that long, that we've talked to him because he had kind of just had the baby, and I think they were still trying to figure out, you know, what was about to happen. And he ends up taking full custody and becoming like this insanely great dad. But at the time, he was just kind of like, meh, you know? And then we see him out on the road, and it was just like, what the fuck happened to you? He just fell in love with that little boy. So Tony Lovato from the band MEST will be on, and we will be touring with them and Authority Zero in the fall. Bowling for Soup, Authority Zero, and MEST coming to a town near somebody. And tickets are on sale now. The new and improved bowlingforsoup.com I got blogs on there, Gary. We got photos that are new all the time. It is just really, really something special.
Yeah. You know, the old saying, every town is close to somebody.
That's right. Yeah. So here's the deal. I just decided, you know, I've been heavier again. So I was a fat kid growing up. I'm not going to get way too into this because you'll have to read the book someday. But I was a heavy kid. I was a fat kid growing up, and then I college hit, and I lost a bunch of weight, and then I got in a rock band and just basically stopped eating and just fucking drank beer all the time and like ate once a day something, and shit. We were all on the Atkins diet for no reason. Like I was already skinny. Like it was just fucking crazy the life we lived.
Yeah.
But anyway, I started gaining weight in about 2014 when depression kicked in, and I'll be honest, I started drinking a lot at home, which I had never done before. And anyway, I've just pretty much just talked about losing that weight for now the last 10 years and kind of tried some things here and there. As you guys know, I have really bad knees. Well, you might not know that, but I've had 3 knee surgeries. So cardio is really hard for me. Lifting heavy is really hard for me because anyway. So I just decided to just stop all the bullshit and just start eating like a human being and cutting down on things and eating good portions. And I quit drinking diet drinks, which, by the way, Gary, I think I told you this the other day. You had a hard time quitting diet drinks, but you pulled it off a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it took me 2 or 3 goes, it somehow always got sucked back in, but I did quit a couple of years ago, and I'm pretty much off at this point.
So I quit drinking diet drinks. I haven't had one in 2023. I've not had a soda and at all. And but I saw a meme the other day that was just like, okay, I quit drinking diet sodas. My health is exactly the same. I still can't sleep. Basically nothing has changed, and that's how I feel. Like I don't feel any better. It hasn't nothing. I mean, I don't feel like I'm missing caffeine. It just sucks. I drink some iced tea here and there, but pretty I just pound water all day now.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I tried those Factor meals, and that's a consideration that I'm doing. I thought that was really, really fucking good. But Casey is doing a thing, and I'm not going to say her business on the phone, but on this show, but she's doing a thing to where it's kind of making her eat certain things and not eat certain things. So I'm just kind of just doing that. And so far so good. I feel great, and I'm this weekend we obviously went through some marathon drinking. But I got home and I've had a couple of good days and feeling really good. And as I told you before, I'm when I sleep, I'm great. When I can't sleep, I'm just fucked the next day. You know, it's just so different in your 50s. Because I used to be able to not sleep and just be fine. And now it's like if I can't fall asleep, I just lay awake stressing about not falling asleep, which makes it to where I can't fucking fall asleep. And then when I get up the next day to be a father or to be in this band and do this podcast and whatever, I'm just shitty, and I'm fucking hate it.
I had that sleep thing all through my teenage years and my 20s. Like literally, I remember being in 7th grade and doing that thing where it's like, okay, I'm bedtime's at, I don't know, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, whatever it was. And like, I would just lay in my bed and toss and turn till 4 o'clock in the morning doing that. Exactly what you're saying. Like, I need to go to sleep. I can't go to sleep. And that just makes you, and I did that all through my 20s and even later. But once we got in the band and we were on tour, drinking and being on the bus and getting rocked to sleep, that got rid of it. But at home, I would still have that. And I always had that until I got the CPAP. And like now I fall asleep great.
Well, that makes me super happy.
I think, something about having that CPAP, it changes your breathing pattern. And I think it also, it tells my mind, like when I put it on, my mind goes, oh, it's time to go to sleep. So it's like a ritual.
That's how I am normally. I don't know what's going on just lately, but I think mainly it's probably just stress, and which is, I mean, that ebbs and flows, right? I mean, I'm not so losing sleep that I'm worried about it, but you are so right about the CPAP, man. It is. I look forward to putting it on. I really do. Like sometimes Casey will want to talk when we get in bed, and I want to because I love her so much, and I want to be able to say goodnight and stuff. But I really am looking forward to putting that motherfucker on my nose because I can breathe through my nose, and it just it's so awesome. I love it, man. Yeah. Guys, if you're, I'm serious, skinny, fat, I don't care, whatever you are, if you have trouble sleeping or somebody tells you snore or whatever, man, go get a sleep test. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. It's fat, skinny, drinking, no drinking, deviated septum, all that shit. Doesn't matter. Black, white, green.
If any of your partners have ever said like, hey, you kind of stop breathing in the night type thing, or you snore a lot. Yeah, go get it. Go get a sleep test.
Dude, you have, it's literally takes a week, maybe. To me, it wasn't even that long. Like my father-in-law just got a CPAP finally. And he's like, I just hate it. I wrestle with it in the night or whatever. And man, it's just a part of my sleeping. To me, it's just like turning your pillow over. That's
the sleep test itself sucks because they hook you up to all this stuff.
Yeah.
But once you get the machine, like your actual own one at home, I'm with you. It probably took a week or so to get used to, but the better sleep happened immediately. I remember like the first day or two waking up and I was like, I had dreams and I hadn't had dreams for years.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly. Not only do you start having dreams, and this is my experience, but you remember the dreams. Like it's,
right.
And of course, you know how I feel about talking about dreams. I don't want to fucking hear about your dream, but it's cool to talk about my own, like I don't give a shit about, you know what I mean, bud? Like, don't you fucking hate hearing about people's dreams, especially when it's like one of those really elaborate ones that it goes off in all directions and it just sort of loses you. And then they're like, but then I got in the closet and fucking Elon Musk was in there. And you're like, okay, now it just feels stupid.
It's hard to follow someone else's dream because it never makes sense. They're like, we were at my parents' house, but it was only my parents' house in my mind.
Right.
But in reality, we were on the golf course.
I know.
But I knew that it was my parents' house. You're like,
I know.
I don't know.
I know. And Casey now prefaces it with, I know you don't want to hear about my dreams, but listen to this one. And I'm just like, okay, and I do try. Again, I love her very much. But for the most part, just in case you're one of my friends and you're listening to this show, which seems crazy because you probably know everything we talked about already. But I don't want to hear about your dreams. Hey, Gary, I'll listen to your dreams, though.
Well, I was really hoping that someday I would not finally make that achievement. No, that's not the dreams you're talking about.
That's the stuff that dreams are made of. No, not those kind of dreams. Our dreams already came true. Like, we're famous. We're in the best band that's ever lived. We're like still doing it, and we're old, and we have beautiful children and beautiful wives, and we fucking did it, dude.
Yeah.
Why are we even doing this show?
That's why the other day when we were out of town and I saw someone posting something about the Texas Lotto being like $940 million. And I just sent a Nick, is like, maybe you should go buy a couple of lotto tickets. And she's like, fuck you. You already hit the lotto. She didn't really say that.
No,
she went and bought the tickets.
She would never say that. Of course she did, That's and oh my God, and probably found a deal on him somehow. I don't even know if that's possible, but
I don't think she even left the house. I don't think she responded to that text actually.
Right. Tony Lovato from the band MEST is coming up. We have known this man for literally 20 years. After this past summer would be 20 years that we've known him. So man, that's fucking crazy. It really does. I mean, I guess saying it seems like yesterday is kind of stupid. That's like everything tastes like chicken, right? I mean, but it really doesn't seem like it was 20 years ago.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like yesterday, but when you say 20 years ago, in my mind, I'm still like, oh yeah, like in the 80, 89, 93.
Yeah. Well, there's the COVID years. So 78 when you were born. All right, y'all. Hang out and listen to this. We'll be right back with Tony Lovato, the band MEST. You're listening to the Rockstar Dad Show. Welcome back to the Rockstar Dad Show. And with us, as I said before the break, longtime friend. To be honest, Tony Lovato from MEST is with us. And Tony, I don't know if I've ever told you this before or not, but when we first met you, I was a little intimidated by you.
Why?
I was just intimidated by you. You're just like all tatted up, and you never wore a shirt. And you just kind of always like you were always on some sort of a mission, and then you're driving around in a wheelchair and then going up on stage and jumping off shit. It was just like, you were just a bit of a force.
Yeah. I mean, well, the shirtless thing, this dates back to like being a kid. I just like summer. I mean, you guys live in Texas, so summer times in Chicago, they're like fucking hot and humid. So it was like, I lived in a bathing suit, and like, if I wore a shirt, I was out playing baseball or doing some activity where I just fucking sweated all the time. So I'm like, why am I going to wear a shirt when it's fucking summertime? So then like, it was just a sort of a kid thing. And then you get fucking tattoos. And then it's like, well, why am I going to put a shirt on and cover up all my fucking tattoos?
Right.
And like, and it's Warped Tour too. So it's the same thing where you just, if you're not on the bus, you're sweating your dick off. Like it's just, So I don't know. Like,
was the shirtless thing just a Warped Tour thing, or?
I'm a very shirtless person, dude. Yeah. I had to put this on for the show. Not kidding. Like I was walking around my shirt. I probably wouldn't put this on until later on today.
And now he's all ripped. Like 20 years ago, he was just skinny and tattooed and stuff. And now you're all cut.
I'm trying to stay in shape. These days, I wake up, I find out new pains. I'll go in the gym and like I work out very like lightweight shit because like I'm just trying to stay in shape now.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing I know, like we had the kids, we went to family trip to Mexico, and I had my stepson on one arm, my son on the other arm. We're in the waves and I'm doing this shit, which is a workout.
Yeah.
But when I do it, I use like 15-pound weights. I got 2 60-pound little fucks on me. And I'm just, next day I wake up, torn rotator cuffs. Just like,
Yeah, it's the fucking dude, the rotator cuff, man. That's the thing. It's the
worst.
It's the worst. And it's just like just doing the Pete Townsend back in the day. And now like just trying to make that move, because I used to do it so much, hurts so bad. But it's like you, right? Adrenaline gets going and you get up on stage and you jump, whether you're going to do it or not. So even, of course. Yeah. You get a couple of drinks in you and all of a sudden you're just
the good decision makers.
Yeah, exactly. Tony, I want to talk to you about a little bit about something that I'm very, very curious what you have to say about this. When we had you on the show the first time, you had kind of just become a dad, and I feel like you were kind of unsure about how it was going to go. Like, you even sort of talked about how you and London, right?
Yeah.
London's mom had, you were just kind of like, okay, well, if you're going to have it, whatever.
For sure.
And then I remember us getting off that episode and being like, okay, he's just kind of unsure about it. But by the time we got on that tour, I don't know that I've ever seen a dad love a little boy as much as you do that kid.
I appreciate that.
Can you talk to me through that part in time of your life, and from like just sort of being unsure about being a dad, or whether you wanted to be a dad, or just being more like, listen, it's your decision kind of thing, to now you would fucking literally do anything for this kid.
Right. Like, I think when we did that interview, and then we toured together that summer.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Right?
It was a while. I think he was, 1 or 2, by the time that happened,
He was probably 3.
That makes more sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, that seems about right. 2019. Yeah, I think it was more like, getting to like, I don't know, like learning right and wrong. Cause like my dad was, in my opinion, like the real rock star dad, like he took care of all the kids in the neighborhood. We had kids live with us for like 7 years at a time. Like if a kid didn't have a dad or parents were getting divorced, they were with us, So I was around that type of environment of my father sort of just taking like, well, he ain't got a dad, so he's got to come with us,
right.
Like that's what type of person he was. So for me, it was more of like, I wasn't sure if I would ever become a dad. I wanted to, but like, didn't look like it was in the cards with where life was going at the time. And then the shit happened out of nowhere. And so I might've been speaking more about like the first years of when she was pregnant, and that first sort of me getting to know her and like how we were going to parent together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because she got pregnant really early in our relationship.
Yep.
And so I think it was more about like figuring out how to not be the cool uncle anymore and be like the cool dad, but the parenting dad at the same time, like balancing it all, because I had people around me that had kids, and it was always like that. I would always just see the extremes in people in a way, like where I was like, oh, they're a little too military harsh. And then these people are a little too like hippity dippity. My kid can do whatever he wants.
Right. Yeah.
And like, there's got to be a fucking middle ground to this, where it's like I'm teaching my kid what's right and wrong, but also letting him be a kid.
Yeah.
So I think it was more about figuring that sort of avenue out. I mean, my wife now, Sierra, because me and Michelle are separated, she thinks that I'm like a military dad. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, I'm not a military dad. You're just the opposite. You just sort of let him. And I'm like, so there's like, we sort of balance each other out with the, like the way she is and the way I am. Like, it's a little bit of like, which it's good. Like, I mean, we've been together for 4 years now or so. And she has 2 kids who are my stepkids now. That was harsh in the beginning. That was an adjustment.
Is she co-parenting with a dad with the dad? So is the dad like, is that another part of what you guys have going, or
I wouldn't say that.
Okay. All right. So that's fine. So then you guys get together, you have London, then you have 2 stepkids, and then now you have a little girl who we got to meet a few times as a baby. Just the sweetest little rock show going little girl. I talk a lot on this show. I talked a lot to Gary about this. Gary and I don't do the thing where we cram expectant dads full of shit. We don't do just you wait, or you're not going to sleep. We don't do that thing.
Right. But
the one thing that I did, and Gary will tell you, is just, I go, listen, it's just different when you have a girl. Like, there's something that happens to your fucking heart, just the minute that it happens, and you're just a different person. I just gave myself the chills, but is that your experience too?
Honestly, being completely honest.
Yeah. I want you to.
I don't, I know, because I've heard this a million times too. And it is different in the sense, but like, I don't know, like with London, it was like, I was a helicopter dad, like so worried about it, probably too much, to be honest, where like now he's like 8 years old, and I'm like, okay, go hurt yourself.
Right.
Like, I
Yeah,
protected you
totally.
a little too much as a kid.
I
You know
can
what I
relate
mean?
to that a lot. I had a very similar experience with me and Tyler on that. And now I'm like, you need to go do stuff. You need to go get
Right.
in trouble.
Go jump
Right.
off something.
And I know
Yeah.
that it's my fault. Like, I know that but I was like, it's my baby. It's my little boy. Like, I have to, you know. And with her, I'm almost like, okay, she's a girl. I named her Rebel. Like, I need to toughen her up and get her ready. You know what I mean? It's like, it's almost like the opposite concept of like, you got to be, you know, independent and like, but I mean, she's still like, but she's a little 1-year-old, and I named her Rebel, and does she live up to that name, man? She's like, it's awesome though. Like, I mean, in like the best ways, where like she's already talking and like says words and like sings songs, and like, they're like, if I go to do something, she'll no, 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 no. She tells me no, you know, like it's, but she's only 14 months. Like it's crazy though. But yeah, I mean, it's been awesome. I mean, we have 15, 11, 8, and 14 months.
Yeah.
So it's, you know,
11, 8, 14 months.
and
And
15.
And 15. Yeah. So the two stepkids are older. And so are they helping out? Like, is it kind of that kind of role where they just think she's the sweetest thing in the world, or is she annoying?
They all love their sister so much. Like, and she loves them. Like, it's like when they see each other, like comes out of the bedroom or whatever, like they love each other. It's a really sweet. I mean, the brothers too. Like, it's cool for the brothers, because I always said it's like they'll always be stepbrothers, right? Like, their common bond is that London's dad married his mom.
Yeah.
But having this little sister, that's both of their little sisters,
right?
You know? So like, that's always there. But yeah, I mean, Dillinger and London are like best friends. I mean, they're a couple years apart, and like they do everything together. Like, it's sort of cool. But
one of the things though that I noticed really early on with you and being a dad too, though, is that like you would throw a birthday party for London, and it would be like 3 bounce houses, and you're out there cooking shit. You've got a putt golf course and a petting zoo or whatever. Like, you did not fuck around when it came to celebrating him and to like having family around him and all of that.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was so special to see, you know, as your friend. You know, you just you really you don't shy away from getting people together and celebrating family.
Well, I mean, I think that's the same thing. Like, that goes back to like with my old man and like having people around all the time, is that I was our house, you know, and I feel like now it's my turn to do that. And so I'm just like, the more the merrier type of thing. Like, my buddy is Mexican. He's like, you do the same shit that we do. He goes, as Mexicans, we just throw parties for anything. We say that it's for the kids, but it's really for us. You
Right.
know? Like,
yeah. Totally.
But I mean, you know, we do the kid stuff and get all the kids together. I mean, it's like memories, you know, like they're never going to have those birthdays again. Like, and I thought about this too, because I heard somebody say this, where they go, you know, don't bring your kid to Disneyland because at a young age, because they're never going to remember it. And I'm like, it's not only for the kid though. Like, if I don't bring them at that age, I'm not going to remember it either. Right. So like, I
think that's an interesting point. Also, it's not just the memories that are made, it's the bonds, right? People don't remember everything you say or do, but they remember how you make them feel.
Right. For sure. Like that. Yeah. My wife's a big advocate of that, of like, with her kid, she was like, she always did instead of spending a bunch of money on some stupid little toys you're going to get, here's a trip we can go do. Do you want to do this, do that, and have an experience and go somewhere and do something, as opposed to like open up a bunch of toys and play with them for an hour, and then they're going to go sit in the corner of the room. You know, it's experiences. And like you said, like that connection, you know. And look, man, with London, when he was a little boy, I remember like driving him to like kindergarten one day, and I was like, hey, you want to go to school or you want to go to Disneyland? He was like, Disneyland. I'm like, all right, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah.
We would go. I mean, some months we went 6 times a month, 8 times a month. Like, we would just go throughout the week, like, because I live close to it. So it's like, we would drive 35 minutes, park, go inside, ride a couple rides, and leave. And like, for him, that was like a kid going to the park that's down the street.
Right.
Like, we would go to Disneyland but yeah, it was fun. I mean, great years. And again, he probably doesn't remember him now because he's 8 years old, but you know, we got some photos.
But the thing is too, though, but he's got the stories, and he will tell his friends forever, just like you have the same stories with your dad. he's going to be talking to his friends when he's our age and going, oh man, my dad would just we'd be on the way to school and we'd just say, fuck it and go to Disneyland, and he's going to know that because you guys have those experiences and stuff. It's so cool. Let's shift gears for a little bit. Talk about MEST, talk about what's going on with you guys. Kind of a lot. You guys have a summer tour coming up with our good buddies, Don't Panic. Yeah. And is there another band on that I'm forgetting?
Yeah, Make Out.
Make Out. Oh yeah. No, I freaking love them. They are good peeps. So Kyle is like one of my favorite people of all time. You're gonna love him.
Yeah.
And then I just saw Japan, and you've been talking about going to Japan since we reconnected several years ago.
Yeah, just adding it to the list. I actually suggested as soon as they brought it up, I was like, I don't know, hit up Bowling for Soup, see if they want to come over too. And but we're doing like this tiny little Ford show in and out, because we haven't been there in 7 years or something like that.
Yeah, got to go test the water.
Since we've been there too. Yeah.
Yeah. We played together in Japan once.
We did actually. Oh yeah, that festival thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and your bass player at the time, I think, was your cousin.
Yeah.
And he was throwing up the entire time you guys were playing and on stage. And that was the one. I think we did a warm-up show. It was us, you guys. Was it Angels and Airwaves? Me first. And I got two mixed up. That one.
No, Angels wasn't even out yet.
Yeah, it was you guys.
That was the time Punchline was there.
Punchline and then Plain White Tees, I think, was the other band.
That's right.
And but yeah, you guys and I don't know, I can't really put the math together. I don't know if that's before we knew you or not. It would have had to have been because I don't remember.
We knew each other because it was after 03 Warped Tour. I think that was like 04 or 05.
Maybe that's right. That
sounds right.
I think.
Yeah. Now, one of our favorite tour stories to tell is about the time that you guys, we did get to be very, very good friends and we hung out a lot on that first Warped Tour that we were on, 2003. And you guys just decided to ride the party bus one night, which was our bus. And we had a tattoo artist on the bus with us. And your drummer at the time let us, while the bus was moving, let us take turns giving him a tattoo on his leg that said, "Good looking."
Yep.
And none of us can draw. None of us can tattoo. Just a horrible fucking thing. But what a story.
I mean, you could see the bus movements in the tattoo.
Yeah,
100%.
Totally. I mean, we must have been going through a rocky area, or we were all hammered, or both. But and that was.
I think you guys did our merch guide too. Because I think they had matching thigh tattoos.
We did too. That's for sure.
Yeah, everybody drew.
But it was so funny because our tattoo artist at the time, Brando, he would go out with us all the time, but we had never really done anything like that. And he was having such a hard time with it because, it's his shit. There's some health concerns and all that.
For sure.
Yeah. And he wasn't drinking. And I just remembered him just being like, I am not, film me saying this. I am not responsible for anything that happens, And, but yeah, that was a doozy of a time, man. I mean, as we talk about, and then I should mention also, MEST, Bowling for Soup, Authority Zero going out in the fall. We talked about that earlier on. Shows are on sale, VIP tickets available. We're covering a lot of ground in 2 runs, by the way. I mean, it normally takes us 3 runs to do what we consider pretty much full US tour. And it kind of was unplanned for this to be so geographically awesome, but it's gonna be great.
It does really cover.
Yeah, we do good.
Everything
we do good. So, the one thing about you guys is, when pop punk was really just happening, and you guys got to tour with some pretty massive fucking acts. The first time I ever saw you was at Trees in Dallas with Good Charlotte. So you guys were on that tour, but you toured with Blink too, right?
Yeah, that was actually like one of the first tours we ever did. I mean, that tour actually, it did a lot for us. We weren't on the fucking main stage, we knew, like, our manager knew somebody within, I think it was fucking MCA they were on, maybe. I think that's what
that sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. And he knew their A&R guy or something. So he's like, yo, can you hook up my band, this and that? So we actually got on, like, so what it was supposed to be was in each city, they had this like side stage fucking thing for when people are coming in. And they would have like a different band in every city, or one band do a couple of shows. We somehow were pretty much able to like steal the whole fucking run.
Wow.
So we were like part of the tour essentially. Granted, this is like the internet, I think was just starting. So like if it was internet these days, like it would have been even better because word of mouth. So what we'd do is we would get up on stage, fucking start talking to the crowd. They're walking by, because it's sort of like you have to grab these people's attention essentially, because you're just like this fucking side show Bob fucking act, you know, like you're not like, who the fuck are these guys, right? So we get up there and just fuck around and talk to people, get people's attention. So people would start coming over. And then once we had like a small little crowd, we'd be like, okay, fuck it, let's play a show. So we'd play a show. And then when we were done, maybe 10, 15 minutes later, Newfound would start, or not Newfound. It was either, there was two different bands. It was Alkaline Trio did it for part of it. I think Jimmy Eat World was the other opener that year. Or maybe Saves the Day, some shit, I don't know. But they would do a set, and then we were allowed to play another set again. So once we realized, like, fuck, let's play a set, tell people we're going to be back, the word of mouth would spread. So like by the fucking second show, like there would be thousands of people in front of us. And this isn't like these big amphitheaters were doing these types of shows with like Aerosmith, whatever fucking main bands were playing these venues. They would always have like a little sideshow thing, which wasn't a big deal. We were able to like hone in and figure out how to get the most out of this, to the point that the show started getting so big and so chaotic that the like promoters and security would call to the next city and be like, hey, you can't just have like one security guard standing there with the fence. Like you're going to need like real security. Like this is a real show. And then by the time we did it in Chicago, because we're from Chicago, I mean, it was 5,000-10,000 people in front of us when we did that. And it was nuts, you know, like it was. So, and I remember hearing this, I don't know if it was true, but I heard Tom was a little pissed off because he was like, who are these guys? Why are they on our tour? And then somebody sort of let him know, like, oh, well, it's just this side stage. And I think Tom was like, well, I would have picked a band that I know, you know, some shit. Like, I mean, Tom's been nice to me. We actually became friends through MySpace back in the day.
Right.
Like, he actually, during the Angels and Airwaves days, like, talked about that record. And I was like, hey, man, my new band, because I had a side project. I'm like, could you put me in the top 8? And he was like, yeah, absolutely, man. Like, so on the Angels and Airwaves page, so maybe those rumors were untrue, or Tom just decided.
Have you gone back to MySpace to see if it's still up there?
Dude, that's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's not the worst idea I've ever heard. Yeah, it's that's you know, I mean, you know, lots and lots of memories from those days, you know. And did you take? I mean, is there a time where you were taking a break and weren't really doing the whole MEST thing, or have you been operating doing? And I say that knowing that, you know, you did things up until a time when we didn't see each other much, is really what I'm saying.
Right. I mean, when the band split up, I mean, it's weird because it feels like there was like this long break because we were a band for 11, 12 years, did our 5 records in that time, toured nonstop, and then said, okay, we're all burnt out. It was sort of like because we were also friends growing up since we were little kids. So it's not like it wasn't like a band that comes together to make music, meets that way. Right. And then gets 15 years out of a friendship, and then everything implodes. We were like cousin, friends since we were 7 years old. So we had been spending that much time together previous to the band spending 12 years together, you know, where it's close encounters of fucking every day, whether it's on the road or at home. So when the band split up in like 2006, we played our last show like March 8th, 2006. I remember it like completely. I was done with the band, wanted to do side projects. I think the next run I did was maybe 2008. So like I only took fucking 2 years off realistically, but then I was always like half in, half out, doing side projects and like trying to find like what do I do with myself? Because when something like that consumes your life so much, it was part of me. It was me. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I went from living in Chicago with the same group of friends and family around me my entire life. And like I said, being on the road to being at home, surrounded by people, breaking up with the band, and then moving out to Los Angeles. And I lived with fucking Benji from Good Charlotte's back house for a little bit. And I was alone. And it was a fucking dark, depressing fucking time. Like I wasn't used to it. I didn't have people around me. Like there wasn't TVs on. It was alone. I had my thoughts and that was it. And it was a scary year of my life. The first year I lived in Los Angeles. I think I flew home once a month, and I'm not exaggerating, just for like a weekend to see everybody. But yeah, I mean, and then it was side projects for a while, but then I would be doing a side project. Then I toured in 2009, the summer with Red Jumpsuit, Hollywood Undead and the Sleeping, but I toured as MEST.
Right.
And then, what's up, Bubs? I'm in
he can say hi.
Just put your head in.
Hi.
Hey, what's going on?
See, he's shirtless too. I'm telling you, we're a shirtless family. Let me finish this. What do you need?
So you know that RoboFish we got from Walmart? They're Target, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
When are we gonna open it?
We go grab it. We'll do it after this. Close the door, please. Sorry.
God, he's gotten so big, so grown up.
Since the tour with you guys, I swear he's like, I'm not joking, like double in size. Like he's a fucking beanstalk.
Crazy, man. Crazy.
But yeah, so then it was 2009. I did a random summer tour with like Hollywood Undead, which was fucking weird. But I think one of my friends was in a band, I won't say which one, was having a hard time staying sober. And I was sober at that point, like AA sober. And so they were like, get out there and try to fucking babysit them for a little bit. I was like, cool, I'll get a tour out of this, you know?
Right.
Then it was 2010, 2011, sort of dicking around, was thinking of doing the MEST thing again. And then I did, funded by a label in Japan, I did a MEST record with two different guys that was part of my side projects, which was like all MEST songs. And I fucking love the record. Like I'll text you the link to it. Like it's on Spotify and shit. But it was like, I was living with Craig from Escape to Fate, was my roommate. So I'm hearing all these like hardcore fucking double bass bands and shit. And I'm like, it'd be cool to write music like that, but with my pop punk melodies.
Yeah.
So I fucking wrote a record like that. And I fucking love it. Like, I mean, I guess it would be more of like for the new school kids. Cause whenever I showed it to like the younger kids that were like playing with MEST on certain tours with me, like they loved the record. I'm like, okay, so that was your guys' thing that old man stepped into. But yeah, and then then the band got back together. Well, we didn't get back together. We did some reunion shows. And actually, this will be the first time I've ever been able to talk about it, because things have drastically changed with MEST since 2000. Like 2015, we started playing with the original lineup again, shows here and there. And it was always me trying to, babe, I said, come on.
We want to see it. Oh yeah.
I'm this is live right now, so I have to finish this. Shut the door, babe. Shut the door, I'll be out when I'm done. So we started doing a couple of shows, and everything was fun. It was like felt good again. Like it was cool to be around everybody. Like it just clicked. We got together and it felt really good.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was like, okay, what can you guys do? Well, how often can you go out? How in are you with this? Because for me, this is what I do.
Right.
So how do I fit in me still doing this and making a living and properly running the ship and having you guys be part of it? Are we just going to do shows here and there with the original lineup, and then I'll be touring with my other guys? Like, so it's sort of like this fucking mixed bag of like, I had to figure something out. And so we started playing some shows, and finally I was like, I wrote the record Masquerade.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, hey, do you guys want to play on this record? I said, it would sort of make sense since we've been playing shows together, and it would make sense for us to put out some new music, because we can only tour on, or we only play shows on this back catalog for so long. Like, people want to fucking hear new music, and I have a record. So I sent it to the guys, and we had talks, and it was sort of going back and forth. And I said, well, look, I said, it's going to be weird if I put out this record on my own and you guys aren't on it. and we're still playing shows together. Like it doesn't. I go, let's just do it together. Like just learn your fucking parts.
Yeah.
The record was pre-production was done. Everything was fucking. The songs were done. And so everybody finally came around and they're like, all right, yeah, let's do it. So we did that Masquerade record. But in 2019, when we toured with you guys, it was the same shit. Like our record was coming out in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
We did 4 tours in 2019, but every one of those tours, the guys weren't a part of.
Right.
But I'm like, well, I still need people to know there's new records coming out. So like I think Adrian played guitar on all those. I think Ronnie Ficarro played bass. I think with the one that we did together, right?
Yeah, Ronnie Ficarro was on the tour that we did. Yeah,
right. Mm-hmm. And then EJ, my little brother, was my bassist for one tour. Taylor on drums for a tour. Alan on drums for a tour, and then somebody else who I had for like a week, and then I had to let him go. But I mean, it was just like this MEST family of fucking in and outs sort of shit.
Sure.
And but then the record came out in 2020, and obviously we all know what happened.
Of course.
But we had like one show that I wanted to do with the original lineup. Like, hey, we're going to do, it was Wasting Time, our first record. Let's do this one show together out in LA together. Like, let's do front to back record shows coming up on 20 years. And then it was April of 2020. So like that was right when they said, fuck it, no shows. So fuck. So we pushed it back to the next year. Then we had like 3 or 4 more options. And I kept calling the guys going, hey, here's the dates. Can you do this? Can you do that? One guy couldn't do it. One guy couldn't do it. And I'm like, well, can 2 of you do it? And the other, and it was like, if we're going to do it, let's all do it together. And I'm like, dude, I'm going on like fucking 2 years now. Like I need to play a show. Like haven't made any money. Like gotta fucking, let's do this. And when I do the shows with those guys, obviously it's, the equal splits because it's the original lineup.
Sure.
Type of thing. But it just got to the point that I didn't even say anything to the guys. I was just like, I've given them 5 dates and nobody can do it. So I was like, me and Gary had bonded so much. He's been helping me out over the past, years of those previous years. Like all the MEST videos that we did, he was in. He helped me do the sets in my house. We direct and do all of our own videos and shit.
Yeah.
And Gary's flying out and helping me do all this shit to get these videos done. When in retrospect, the other situation that happened was I flew my video director to Chicago, had given the guys like an 8-week notice, like, hey, we're coming out. I have all these places lined up to shoot 3 music videos in a weekend. So be ready. Here's the dates. I fly out, start texting the guys, hey, what time do you want to meet up tomorrow? I get a message back. Well, I'm not driving in for that.
And I'm
like, yeah. What? I'm like, we've talked about this 2 months ago. I'm flying the director in, like, what's going on? No, I wanted to make sure we had some more shows lined up before we start doing video stuff like that. And I go, I'm also working on the show. This is because I do everything. So I'm like, I'm working on the shows. Like, I'm negotiating this show and doing that. I go, this shit takes a while. I go, I'm trying to figure out the best deal for us so we make the most money because that's what you guys are always concerned with. Is it enough money worth doing? And it was just like all of that. And then like having like Gary come and like support me and help me do these videos and all this shit and just be into it and be like, whatever you need, I'm there, I'm on board. It's like, well, that's what I fucking need.
Yeah.
And it was just got to the point where I just said, this is the first time I'm actually talking about this shit. So nobody knows what's going on.
No. Thank you for, and we're interested because, obviously we love Gary Smash. He's a friend of the show. And so it just became one of those things where I just realized like I had to do what was not only best for me, but what's going to make sense for MEST if I really want to keep doing this. And that's to stay productive and to be able to have a group of guys that is like, okay, we're doing this. And it was like, cool, let's go. Like the scheduling, which I get it. Like they have jobs and they do all that type of shit because they've been doing that for 10 years when I was still doing the shit on my own. But it was like to not be able to commit, like MXPX, Tom and Yuri still fucking work, but MXPX, it looks like they're on the fucking road doing shit all the time because they're committed to the band also. But I just couldn't get that from the guys. So it was like, I just had to go. It was great that we did that last MEST record together. I think it was awesome for the fans, for them to be on that record. But for me, it was like, okay, that was sort of the last chapter. And so we recorded a new record. I think it's the fucking best record
that I've ever written, to be honest. Like it's the early eras of MEST, but like with more like better lyrical content, better songwriting, like sort of like. So I'm excited just to fucking be able to get out there and start this new chapter.
Yeah.
MEST, you know, like,
you did this record with Taylor Carroll, who was your drummer when we met him, but he's also in the band Lit, and he has his own stuff going on. Friend of the band, stepped in when our Gary had some health stuff.
Oh yeah, he did. Huh?
And we had 3 drummers that night. Well, 4, I guess, if you count me.
So is this rumor true? I heard that when Taylor was playing, you guys would take him out of your monitors because you didn't need him in the monitor.
It is so fucking loud. We 100% accurate. Right? Yeah, he was. It was
ridiculous.
He hits the drums so. I mean, okay. Here's the deal. Gary Wiseman hits the drums fucking hard. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're barely even. Really, all I have is kick and snare and like a little bit of overhead. That's it. And then. Fucking Taylor, though, I mean, it was crazy. But
he's a fucking caveman. It's weird.
It is just, I mean, he just really does hit those fuckers hard. But yeah, he certainly fits in very well with Lit because he's a rock drummer. You know, he's a rock guy. And of course, looks wise, it makes sense.
Yeah, a little model boy.
Yeah.
I always say, like, I love Taylor, and I'm like, man, if he wasn't that good looking, people would be like, what the fuck? Like, he's in the best way, like, because I'm sort of a fucking nerd too. I'm like, he's like the nerdiest, goofiest dude.
Oh, yeah.
And I am too. And that's why we get along. I'm like, if he didn't look like that, people would be like, who is this fucking dude? Like,
yeah.
Dude, we had so much fun making this record. It was like just nonstop laughing. I felt like the whole time we're just fucking making jokes and having fun. Like, it was a different way for me to make a record for sure. But it was great.
Yeah, well, I sing on a song, and very excited about that, and that's going to come out as the lead single, I think, right before the tour.
We're trying to figure out this whole, and again, this is the venture of running MEST. When you do sort of everything, is like, I know what this self-releasing, what that takes, and I'm like, well, I got a whole nother kid now too, and I'm like, I had to do that Kickstarter last time, and it was like organizing shit, or like. Sending out 1,000 packages, like, that's not the easiest. It takes some time and organizing.
That's the thing, man. Mailing physical fucking product, whether it's a prize from a Stage It or anything, is just the biggest ass whip, you know? And go ahead.
Sorry. Going from having kind of the revolving doors, multiple different people, to like, it kind of came self-evident. Hey, here's the guys that are here. Right. And with that new lineup, do you feel like a new energy, or is it less of an uphill battle? Like, what is it?
It's funny you said it, because so then, to be honest with that, so like, it didn't just seamlessly happen, which I feel like nothing does in the MEST world for me. Hence why our touring RV is still stuck in Texas right now. It broke down June 30th, and the guys are still there, and we're trying to get it fixed, like crazy shit. But so when it sort of felt like, okay, this is coming together with Gary, and then Adrian was filling in on guitar, and you've been with me for a couple of years at that point. And then my buddy Casey, who was in Assuming We Survived, jumped and started playing bass for us. And it was like, we're very consistent. We're good. I was ready to do this. We ran into some issues on a run where Adrian wasn't able to partake in the shows for reasons that I'll just not discuss, but he wasn't able to. And so I talked with Adrian just as a friend, and I said, hey, I understand your situation. My situation is I can't have this. I need something that's going to be more stable, because I just went through that that's what I've been trying to avoid. And that's why I was like, okay, we got some guys. And I said, so it's no hard feelings, like nothing at all. I go, but here's the reality. I'm like, if I were to let you know about a tour, and it was literally, I was talking about you guys, I go, we have, some stuff coming up in September and October with Bowling for Soup. I can tell you about it now, but when that time comes, if something else were to come up, you wouldn't be able to do that. And it's understandable, because you're under contract, and I get that.
Sure.
But I can't have that inconsistency. So we did like 2 last shows on this January run, and like, I was like, all right. So then I had to go find another guy. So luckily there's an acquaintance in Chicago that I know of, friends of friends. And so I hit him up, and he's always was a MEST fan, has MEST tattoos and shit. And like we'd met a couple of times. His band played with MEST. And so I was like, you know some songs? He's like, I know all of them. And I was like, all right, cool. And so he came out, did 2 different weekend runs with us, and he just fit in. Like it was like same personality, which makes sense because he's an acquaintance of like, so it was like sort of run in the same personality circles in a way, you know, like it.
Yep.
And then I got the call from Casey, and Casey went from being an apprenticeship tattoo artist to being full time.
Right.
And he's 30 years old, and he's like, I'm actually making real money now, and I'm trying to do this and do that. And I try to build this career. So he calls me up, and he's like, I want to give you as much notice as possible. And I said, dude, you're a 30-year-old fucking kid becoming a man. I 100% get it. I support it. Like, it's all good, dude. Thanks for the fucking advance notice, you know, like, so then we were looking for a bassist. And this was 2 to 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Gary had a friend that he had played in bands with, and Gary's like, I'll vouch for him. And I'm like, if Gary vouches for somebody, I'm good, you know? So this July run, and then with you guys, would be the first time that I have these guys out consistent, you know, but like Gary's sort of like my rock, and then I have the little guys around me helping out. So, but so far it's been like fucking great. Like we have a good crew of people together working with us, you know? So it's, yeah. I mean, I hope that answers the question.
No, it did. Yeah. And new album, and, you know, 3 great tours. I saw you guys are filling in the gaps with Authority Zero on the stuff that we can't do together in the fall. And so you got a busy year, new record, and you know, man, dude, I think, it's good to be in a pop punk band in 2023, you know?
Right.
I mean, it's,
hey, thank you, MGK.
Yeah, it's 100%. And don't, I tell all the kids that hate on that shit all the time, I'm like, y'all don't be knocking MGK, Mod Sun. Like they're,
I get it.
Our streaming numbers are up, man. Appreciate that shit.
Absolutely. I get it. It makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's got
New
to.
generations, man.
Tony, you're truly a rock star dad and a good friend, and we just love the shit out of you. And thanks for doing the show today. And everybody, go see MEST this summer with Don't Panic and Make Out. Come see them this fall with Bowling for Soup and Authority Zero. And if you're in Japan and listening, go see them then. And then y'all be on the lookout for new song, new record. Man.
Can we add this? And if we need to delete it, can we delete it out of this thing?
100%.
So, because it's airing Monday, I think we're telling everybody this weekend, but Sierra's pregnant again.
Ah, yeah.
Here comes.
It's the reveal.
Congrats, dude. That's amazing.
Building an army, I guess.
My goodness, dude.
And then the fun part too, and I'll see if I'll get a message from Sierra first, is that we were trying to figure out like how to do we're gonna do like a gender reveal that's fun. So I think we're gonna do it at our show with you guys in Anaheim at the show.
Oh yeah,
and
dude.
shoot off some cannons or some.
Let's fucking do it, dude. Yeah, that'll be great, man. That'll be awesome.
Make it fun. Have family and friends around and find out. You know,
dude. Congratulations, man. I mean, you two are such great parents, and it's so fun to watch your family. You know, I mean, one of the, you know, there's so many negative aspects of social media, but one of the great ones is just, you know, watching you guys and, you know, just grow and spend time together. And it's just cool to see you happy, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Same to you, man.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Great news. Great news. Can't wait to see you here in a couple of months.
All right, guys. Been fun.
Yeah, man. So, hey, hang on for just 1 second. Okay, Tony?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks to Tony Lovato for being on the show today. And we will see y'all next time. More Rockstar Dad Show. Y'all be good.
This is a song for my friends Jaret and Gary. They started a podcast and said a theme was necessary. They're just a couple of guys in a band that you know. Some rockstar dads who started a show. Until the next episode.